Wife of George Papadopoulos, one of the individuals who has pleaded guilty in the special counsel investigation into Russian meddling, is now doing a new round of interviews claiming that statements that she made about Trump in the past were misinterpreted. And she's really hoping that Trump offers a pardon to George Papadopoulos after he gets his sentence for his wrongdoings. Now, first, I want to remind you of what she initially said about Papadopoulos and specifically about Trump. Take a look.
Will the president be happy with the story George tells?
I think he tried to dismiss George as a coffee boy, so I'm sure he will not be happy.
From what you know about his story, what do you think the title of that story is?
Don't want to spoil his premiere, but I think he has been sort of the first domino in the Russian gate.
So she kind of makes it clear there that Papadopoulos has some dirt, and it could be the first domino in this Russiagate situation. And so she was not friendly or kind toward the Trump administration, or Trump specifically. But now she has changed her tune because she sees that Trump is pardoning all sorts of people. So what is she saying now?
There are a lot of misunderstanding about his situation, about his role. I used to say that his role is very important. I used to compare him to John Dean. I never meant to make this comparison in the sense that would lead to the president impeachment.
Do you think that your husband's going to prison?
I honestly, I know how much dedicated and committed was in the Trump campaign. I know he did an excellent job. I know he's because of this incident, his freedom is challenged. So I trust and hope and I ask to President Trump to pardon him. I hope he will.
Okay.
Again, earlier she compared Papadopoulos to John Dean, referring to the former White House counsel who became a key witness in the Watergate scandal and took down Nixon.
Well, I did not mean to do that. What I meant to do instead is say, Mr. Trump, please pardon us. I see you're pardoning everybody. So why not us? So shocking that the Trump campaign official and his wife did not clearly think out their strategy and have decided to publicly contradict themselves, making them the 118th person in a row from the Trump administration or campaign to contradict themselves on national television.
Yeah. I mean, at least she's doing it for, I'm not gonna say she's doing it for a good reason, but I think it's smart to contradict yourself in this case, right? I mean, I would. If I was on record saying the things that she said about Papadopoulos and Trump, and then I see all these pardons being handed out, yeah, if I wanted my husband freed, that's what I would do.
So two important things that I got out of that. One is that it might be that they were looking for a certain deal from Mueller and maybe avoid prison time, et cetera, for giving up information about Trump or someone else in the campaign, and they didn't get the deal they were looking for. So they went from, oh yeah, we can give you a lot on Trump publicly. They don't get the deal they want from the prosecutor. Then they go back on TV and go, yeah, we didn't mean that. We meant Trump, we're on your side. Pardon, right?
And it'll work.
Because he might be getting more of a sentence than he realized, right? And then the second thing that changed, obviously, is exactly what you're saying, Anna. He's throwing out pardons like the Oprah handing out cars or Tyra Banks handing out Vaseline, right?
It was bedazzled Vaseline, to be fair.
To be fair, okay? So you get a pardon, you get a pardon, you get a pardon. So he's like, Papadopoulos over here? What do you think? Can we do that? So, and that's exactly why Trump was doing the pardons.
Exactly, yeah.
And so obviously now Papadopoulos is clammed up and looking for the pardon, just like Trump wanted him to.